Hi, welcome back to my garden. Today we're being interviewed by Cara, Cowen, who was my council member on the Cherokee Council.
Sianagad. Hello everyone. Dakwadoa, Cara Cowan Watts. It's nice to meet all of you, and I'm glad to join Waylon Smalley this evening.
We'll take a quick spin around the garden. She's going to ask me some questions. I'm going to lie to her like I do everybody. No, I think this ought to be really fun. Hi, welcome to my garden.
He said there's about 100 feet by 60, so about 600 square feet, and they are feeding themselves off this garden, which is very impressive.
And as much as I can give away to everybody that I know.
Oh, hear that? You need to be his neighbor because he's giving away. Tell me more, Waylon, about these peppers again that we tried earlier. What was the name of it?
This is a sweet Mad Hatter. And where it looks like a hot pepper, it's actually very, very sweet. But then you come right next to it, and then we've got the ghost pepper, and these are going to be blistering hot. Now, I do have some Carolina Reapers, but they haven't put on anything yet.
Look at all this stuff he's got even on the fence.
And if you look at this plant, I pruned this back to about 2 sticks, and it's over 3 feet tall. We do have a bunch of flowers on here, back in here, but I don't think we have enough time before they're going to put on peppers. So we're going to go ahead and trim this back, and we'll dig it up, and we'll put it in a container, and then we're going to overwinter this and see what it does next year.
Okay, and Waylon, remind me, you overwinter your plants in this house, or
we did in the greenhouse, but when it gets really cold, we bring them into the garage.
Okay.
Last winter got so cold that we lost about half of everything that we tried to overwinter.
Okay.
It was a disaster.
Because you didn't have a heater in your...
Yes.
Okay, so if you have a greenhouse that doesn't have a heater, the reality is you need to bring it into the garage.
You really do. It does need to stay above freezing.
Okay.
And it got down to freezing. The canopy that I had on the roof, they sold as a really good canopy, and the sun hit it and it fell apart. So it was open.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so even if I had a heater, it wouldn't have mattered.
Okay, very good. Thank you. And look at all these sweet potato slips that he so graciously shares with us. Look how they've multiplied for him. He's got like a massive field of them.
Actually, we only have 6 plants right here. We had 6 plants back there, the purple ones. This drought was kind of hard on our sweet potatoes. We didn't get a very good production on this purple sweet potatoes, but we're expecting a really nice harvest coming out of here in about a week, and I hope you come join me for that.
Okay, so what he's saying is this area right here is just 6 plants, and then he had 6 plants just over there of sweet potatoes. So 12 plants total. That's impressive. That's a lot of coverage. And back here you can see all his tomato plants, which tomatoes actually vine if you give them a chance. Is that right,
Yes,
Waylon?
they're actually a vine, and we like to trellis them. We trellis them on a string, and then we've got beans behind there. And we'll go down that tomato tunnel.
Okay, very good. And look how big his squash plants still are. And it's October 9th.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, look at this.
Yep. Another one we need to bring in.
Look how big that is. Even bigger. Yum. Very good. Cherokee Nation citizen Waylon Smalley producing his own food.
Let's see. And our corn is just about ready to come off, and we planted this in August. So you can plant corn all summer long and still have a nice corn harvest all year long.
So I want to make sure you catch that. He didn't plant this corn until August. And look, he's got ears coming on, and it's October, and he's going to get corn.
And I just planted these carrots actually about 3 weeks ago. And these beets, not too too far behind that.
So 3 or 4 weeks ago, or
Yeah.
2 weeks ago?
No, about 4 weeks ago.
About 4 weeks ago, planted these beets.
Okay, and the reason we have a bale of hay here is I'm going to put a frame at an angle that we can cover with plastic, and that's my cheap solar greenhouse.
That is brilliant.
And then when it gets warm, we just pull it back. When it gets cold, we pull it back over.
Okay, so if everybody caught that, The reality is you don't have to go expensive or like some kind of turnkey like piece from a store that looks really slick to do something great.
Oh, bales of hay are great. And then in the spring, you just bust the string and then spread it out.
Oh, so you further your deep mulch garden.
Yep.
Okay, Waylon, what is this?
That's a little Russian melon that my wife's uncle sent to us. And it tastes, this one's not ripe. It'll turn orange.
Okay.
But it
How
tastes,
big does it get?
oh, about that size.
Okay.
And they taste kind of like cantaloupe. Kind of.
Do you eat the rind or do you just have to crack it open for the middle?
You can eat the whole thing.
Okay.
I mean, obviously you don't want to eat the seeds, but it'll turn bright orange. This one's starting to turn. I don't think I have one in here. But yeah, we had them all summer long. They're kind of an acquired taste, but they are sweet. And think about it, if you were on the steppes of Russia and had no sugar, this
That's
would be
right.
like candy.
Oh, yeah. So do you eat them like with a spoon out of the middle or something?
Yeah, just slice them in half, and just like a cantaloupe. This is how we eat them.
Okay, like a cantaloupe, but they're
tiny.
They're tiny. So do you just quarter it, or how do you really? Okay, and eat it. And here you can see his beans, and the beans have lots of blossoms on them.
Get out.
Oh, I can see the green beans right here. I can see some beans coming on.
And this is the kind of beans we're still getting daily, and we're getting probably 5 pounds a day.
Okay, and when did you plant these plants? This is awesome. Look at this coverage.
Probably July. It took them a little while to get going, but as soon as it starts cooling off, beans really produce really well early and then late.
Waylon's a tall man, and this is over his head. This is
I'm
awesome.
6'4".
And
this trellis is,
they have all these beautiful marigolds throughout the garden that provide a color, a pop of color, but also bring in the pollinators, and that's been real helpful.
And then the tomatoes, our tomato trellis is about 6 feet tall. We like to use the string method where we just wind them around the string. I need to make this taller because they bent over and they've reached the ground already again.
Okay, so if you heard, he recommends that the trellis be taller than 6 feet to really get maximum production out of your plants.
Yeah, 8 or 9 feet easy.
Okay.
And see, this is where it's bent back over. This is the fall production.
Wow, look at those gorgeous tomatoes.
And we've been pulling off, I don't know, 8 or 9 pounds every day. As they start turning to blush, we'll go ahead and pick them.
Do you put them in brown bags to let them ripen, or do you just let them ripen on the windowsill?
Yeah, right on the kitchen counter.
Okay, perfect. I forget, what is this right here?
Oh, that's a basil plant.
This is a basil plant that they have right underneath the tomatoes, and look at those gorgeous blossoms.
Oh, here's one.
Oh, there's a tomato ripening up.
So that'll be good
beautiful.
for dinner.
Yep.
Couple beans, a zucchini, and a tomato.
There's people that survive on less, so you're doing awesome. Is this a different basil?
Yeah, that's a Queen's Thai basil. So I've planted basil or marigolds or beets in between each one of these plants.
Okay, well their herbs are looking awesome. And I bet the pollinators come out in big droves.
And I'll bet you don't know what this is.
Is it a Cherokee purple?
It's a Cherokee purple. Yes, it is. It's my favorite.
See,
so.
he questioned me, and I nailed it.
Now I have some beets down in here.
Is this some of the flowers you picked up from our pollinator?
And I believe I got them from the seed exchange.
From our seed exchange. Shout out to Melissa Lewis and all the other people that contributed to that seed exchange.
Absolutely. We've been growing and eating your food ever since.
Yes.
Now this is also a basil, but this is a sweet basil. And we're letting this go to seed. We normally take and pinch those seed heads off early, let them get big. But now it's getting late enough. We want those to reseed themselves.
And I've got more marigolds. I do love the dark red, orange marigolds. Those are my favorite.
And then our okra likes the deep mulch pretty well. Those are 8 feet tall.
Oh, look at this. How tall are you, Waylon?
6'4". So
Waylon is 6'4". Look at his okra. This is just beautiful. I I mean, I'm sure there's Okies that don't like okra, but I'm not one of them. I love okra.
Straight
Check
up.
that out. Ooh, that's beautiful. Tastiness.
And we don't spray anything, so you can eat them right off.
Yeah, look at him. All right, I'm going to eat. That is really good.
Well, now if you like that, you'll love this. These never make it into the house.
Okay, these are the secret gardener stuff.
Whoops.
Got it?
That's mine. I'll trade you. These don't make it into the house.
Look what he just shared with me. Now, what kind of tomato are these? Are these just like the regular, like you'd see at the store, or is there a special name for them?
Oh, it's some fancy. It is. They make these little beads or these little trains. It's a fancy cherry tomato. I don't remember what it was called, and I actually picked it because I thought it would make a good picture, but they are awesome.
Are you saving the seeds and redoing it, or how you? Okay,
Yeah,
Very
we'll save
good.
seeds off of that.
very good. Now there's a gourd down here.
That one broke off this morning, but these are dipper gourds, and I got those from you guys also.
Oh yeah, from the seed exchange.
Yep.
Very good. He's got all sorts of stuff going all over the garden.
This corn right here, we just cut and dropped that today. It had finished up. I like to let it get a little brown, and then the way we the way we clean up the garden, we just cut and drop, add to the deep mulch.
Okay.
That's all we
Very
do
good.
here.
So
Now,
everything, that's true reduce, reuse, recycling right there.
Now these cucumbers normally die back, and these kind of look kind of bad, but we're still getting cucumbers off of them. We did get some aphids in here, and then we brought in some ladybugs, and when they ate all the aphids, the vines started coming back, and I don't know, we've got another dozen or so nice cucumbers off of that.
I like that. So you had an aphid problem with your cucumbers, and you brought ladybugs in, and
Yep.
they did the job.
Yep.
That's beautiful.
Well, it wasn't just these. They got into the melons also. We brought in 7,500, and you can get them from Amazon. They're very inexpensive.
Did
They
you
show
say
right up.
7,500 ladybugs? Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, they're the coolest little. Yes, they're very cool.
I do love ladybugs. Okay. Well, so how many years have you been building mulch?
This is my 4th summer. This is a great example with the mulch. I put it down at least a foot thick. In the summer, is right down the soil. That's how fast the life in the soil takes and utilizes this. Now, the mulch is not the food for the plants. You would think it was. The mulch just covers the ground. The ground wants to stay covered no matter what. Mother Nature wants the ground covered. That's why you get weeds. It wants it covered. What's going on underneath the ground is all the micro life that takes and breaks down the sand, silt, and clay. There's enough nutrients in this ground right here, you would never ever have to buy a bag of fertilizer. As long as you have the bacteria, the fungus, the microarthropods, the worms, and the other bigger predators. It's just a cycle of life that's going on underneath us that we can't see. And as long as you have roots there, they work in tandem. And that's how the deep mulch actually works.
So your mulch does break down each year,
Mm-hmm.
and you need plants as part of that cycle for the mulch and the earth.
Right. Okay, the energy comes from the sun. It hits the leaves. It photosynthesizes. It creates a sugar which goes down into the roots, and as an exudate, it trades it to the bacteria. It says, hey, I need some boron, or I need some iron, or I need some whatever's not in the bag of fertilizer that you get at the big box store. And that little organism goes, oh, okay, I can go over here and get that. And they produce an enzyme, and it starts to eat that away. They absorb it. A bigger critter comes by, it eats it. And what happens when you eat something? It produces yes.
Output.
Yeah, the output is now plant soluble, and that root will take it up. It's just a big cycle of life.
So before we close, we're going to talk about your amaranth. I'm doing that up close.
This
So-
is a superfood.
And you said this was not the one you got from the seed exchange.
No.
It's something different.
Well, it is. Actually, I got 2 kinds from the seed exchange.
Okay.
And this is a part of that.
And here's the other one.
And here's the other one.
So I have that at home.
And I just planted these in August, and they went ahead and put on seed heads. Now, the cool thing about amaranth, I didn't know if you knew, these tender leaves, you eat those. You can cook it with them. You can eat them raw. And then you got the grain that comes off of the flower heads.
Okay, now I got it. Okay, that's what I'm about to eat. That's tasty.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right, so we're going to go one more shot over this other amaranth, and then we're closing the video. And now I'm inspired to get my deep mulch on for next year. So here is the other amaranth. And you said this is different than the other two?
No, this is actually the same as the tall one.
But look at this production.
And it has fallen over. It's so heavy, it has fallen over. And then the branches, they grew up and they put on flower heads also. We're about ready to harvest these. We're going to go ahead and harvest these probably this week. Dry them out. And then we'll take and winnow away the hulls. And then you can cook with them. I'm itching to try this. If you put them in a hot pan, they puff up just like popcorn. They're really light. And then when you cook with them, they mix with whatever you're cooking with really well.
Okay, and you are going to do a video for us, right? And show
absolutely.
this? Okay, very good. All right, well, that concludes our evening. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a good evening. Bye.
Thank you for coming to my garden. Cara, that was fun. I really appreciate you coming by and interviewing me. And I'm glad everybody showed up to help us take a look at the garden. And remember, until next time, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and God bless you. Come on, let's plant.
Let's go plant garden.